Welcome to the Unapologetic Podcast with Kaitlyn Talamonte, hosted by LadyBoss. This is a space where women rise, own their power, and stop playing small. We get real, we get raw, and we get fired up about confidence, health, business, and life. If you're ready to step into who God made you to be and unapologetically live your best life, then girl, you are in the right place. Let's do this.
This is what unapologetic looks like.
This is my era. I'm walking boldly in my purpose. I'm done dimming my light.
I'm done playing small. God didn't create me to blend in. I'm not for everyone, and that's okay. The old me was surviving. The new me is free.
We rise together.
Here's to living life unapologetically.
Hey ladies, and welcome back to Unapologetic. Today, we're talking about something I know every woman listening has felt at some point. That quiet voice inside you that says, there's more in you. More confidence, more discipline, more purpose, more impact. You can see her. You can feel her. The woman you know you are capable of becoming. Here's the real question. Why aren't you her yet? That's what we're going to unpack today. I'm sitting down with Dr. Daryll Wharton, keynote speaker, mindset coach, hypnotherapist, who's helping women break through limiting beliefs and actually aligning with that next level version of themselves. Not just mentally, but subconsciously. And this is where things get interesting because most women aren't stuck because they don't know what to do. They're stuck because of what they believe without even realizing it. So if you've ever felt like you're holding yourself back, even when you know better, this episode is going to hit. Let's dive into it. Hello, how are you doing today, Dr. Daryll?
I am wonderful. How are you today?
Doing so good. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I wake up when people ask me, how are you doing today? I always have to reserve myself because I want to say, girl, I am fabulous. You know how many people didn't wake up today?
I love that response right there because that is so true. Such a beautiful thing just to be able to have another day and another opportunity to make an impact.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And I don't take it for granted.
Oh, love it. So Daryll, I want to start here because I think every woman listening has felt this. What does it really mean to be the woman you thought you could never be?
Oh my goodness. It means that woman that you see a glimpse of yourself like this, like a small regret when you see someone else walk into a room and you see their energy, and for a split second, you're like, oh, I wish I could have that energy. Or you see someone with an outfit on that you would never think of wearing because you have these limiting beliefs about what clothing you should wear because this is how you've always dressed. And so just that thought of stepping out of the box, and you see that woman, she's just out of reach for you, but you see her and you see a small glimpse of yourself within her, but for some reason, you just choose not to grab it. You just don't take those steps to step into that woman that you keep thinking she's out of reach.
And why do we do that? Why don't we step into that?
I think, well, I know, because I'm proof of this, is we have these values and beliefs. Everyone has them, right? And they start with our family. They start with you as a child listening to your parents say things to you that, they're saying things that they have always heard, right? So I also tell my clients, let's really think about the things that are stopping you and make sure that they actually belong to you because we actually inherit a lot of limiting beliefs from our parents. The best example that I can give, you grow up with your parents saying, she has big ears, and you hear it often. And so you hold on to that. All of a sudden you're 50 and you're wearing hats all the time because you think you have big ears, but you haven't even fact checked it. Like, have you measured your ears? Have you looked up to see what is the average size of an ear? We don't question it. And that's what keeps us, the things that we think are normal to us, and we don't question them. And it keeps us stuck.
I love that. So my thing is I was always told I talk too much, I talk too fast, I talk too loud. And so I stuffed myself in a box and I became the person that didn't really interact. I became quiet and not so outgoing. And then I had to unpack that box because with doing the work, I realized my talk too much, talk too fast, talk too loud is what makes me me. That's who the Lord has meant for me to be. And so those were limiting beliefs that were pushed onto me that I believed for way longer than I wish I would have. And thank goodness I figured it out. What
Yes.
makes me me. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. But that's okay.
And it's not a negative thing. I'm a special educator by trade, right? And we often have those students in the classrooms, the ones that talk too much. And because of my background, I now can see a student in a different way to say, you know what? I'm going to give them 5 minutes to do the morning announcements in front of the room so they get that energy out. And they may be a famous newscaster when they grow up. It's not necessarily a negative. It's teaching them when to use it for good. It's like a superpower and when to not use
Yeah.
it. So,
It's like if you look at the stats of like entrepreneurs and people who are wealthy, the stats, a lot of it goes back to having a learning disability of some kind or ADHD or something where like they didn't fall in line with the average, with the public school system, with the regular education system because they didn't learn that way. And growing up, they were told because they didn't learn that way that something was wrong with them, right? Rather than finding a teacher or a supportive person like you that was like, okay, well, let's find what helps your creativity thrive. And so they grew up thinking something's wrong here. But then fast forward and now they're like, no, like I'm able to use my zone of genius as my zone of genius versus being told it was something I should have
yeah.
put in a box when I was young.
You imagine how many people would be so much further along if, and we could teach this to teachers, but parents should teach it to their kids too, so that they know, okay, it may not be appropriate now, but it's not inappropriate because I talk too much. You know what I mean? So could you imagine if everybody walked into these are my things about me. Let me see how I can turn them into a gift. The world will be so much better, like 1,000 times better. Well, more than that, infinite times better.
It's so I love it. My high schooler, is dealing with all the high school things and whatnot, and he's got a good head on his shoulders. Like where this kid, I kept this kid, I don't know. But earlier this year, they did an English thing, and the English thing was a project was basically like, how would you feel if your name was Wyatt, which is my child's name, and someone just decided they were going to call you Bob one day, and everyone in the classroom was like, well, I'd be hurt. I'd be offended. That's not my name. Why are you going to call me Bob when my name is Wyatt? And my child was like, and like, my name is Wyatt. I know what my name is. They can call me whatever they want. I don't care. And it was very weird because he came home telling me, like, Mom, like, the classroom wasn't divided. It was like him and maybe one other kid in the rest of the classroom because it was all that perception value of like, how do you perceive someone else telling you your name is something different versus what are your beliefs? And it's really cool to hear him explain that because it's like, no, like that my name is Kaitlyn. You better call me Kaitlyn versus the, you know what? Like that's out of my control. If you want to call me Bob, then I will just let you have your cake.
Yes. And that is being strong in your identity and who you are. But most of us are not too strong. We just take on the identity that our parents have given us or our friends growing up. You know how you get a nickname growing up and that nickname sticks? And I often, will say to women, you but if you really want to be that woman that you thought you could never be, you're going to have to change who you are, your identity. You're going to have to decide, you know what? And it's nothing wrong with listing. List the things that you want to be. Go back to, as an educator, I'm always going to go back. How can I teach this new skill so that you retain it? So write down everything that you want to be and then decide, okay, I need to change this about myself. And you can wake up the next day and be a totally different person. No one will ever know. And the people that do know you and they see that you're acting different, if they don't accept you, then let them move on with love. Thank you for being here for part of the time that you were here. I appreciate you. I'm no longer that person. I'm her now.
I love that. So I want to get real for a moment because women today are more informed than ever, which I love. We know what to do. We read the books. We're reading the books. We tried the plans. So why aren't we becoming her? Like, what's actually stopping women from becoming the best versions of themselves that they know they're capable of?
We're listening to other people too much. And you have, social media where you see these images, and those images are actually speaking to our subconscious mind. Consciously, we don't think that because you see a model that's 5'11" and is a size 2, and you see it all day, every day, subconsciously it soaks in to make you think this is what I'm supposed to look like. Without you actually consciously saying that, your subconscious mind is not only feeding it to you, but you're feeling it. And as women, we tap into our emotions. We know that intuition. We're just taught to ignore it. But we get that intuition real fast. When we meet somebody, you automatically know intuitively, yeah, I don't want to be around that person. I'm going to say hi, but I'm not inviting that person to my house or out to dinner because our energies don't match. And once you start recognizing it, right? Once you say, okay, I'm not that person that I want to be. However, you start to stop yourself when that limiting belief thought comes in. You start to say, okay, wait a minute, stop. And I don't know if you want to share now, but I had my little weight loss story, right? But when I was on that journey, and especially when I stopped eating meat, and I love this example because I just told myself I don't eat meat. And I would go out to lunch with friends, and they would say, you're not getting your chicken wings that you normally get. And I would say, oh no, I don't eat meat. And girl, I had a chicken wing 2 days before. I had a plate of chicken wings. However, I started telling myself, "Oh, we don't eat meat. I don't eat meat." And before I knew it, it was much easier for me to not eat meat because I changed my identity with meat. I'm no longer that person who eats it. And look, I always say, lie to yourself a little bit. We all do it. Just lie to yourself at first and keep saying it. Eventually, you're going to step into it. Just make sure it's things that serve you because we do that with things that don't serve us. Like we tell ourselves, well, I'm not as smart as person A, and you keep saying it to yourself. And so, yeah, you truly believe that you're not as smart as person A. So you have to start catching it. Yeah, you got to start catching it, and you may still believe it. But if you start catching it, you'll catch it sooner and sooner where you won't wallow in this negative belief as long as you normally would. It only stays for a moment.
Only stays for a moment. It's kind of like that fake it till you make it phrase. Fake it till you make it.
That's exactly what it
Truth.
is.
It's like affirmations. I think we
Yeah.
talked about this in the past. Affirmations.
Yes.
They are. I can think I have the worst. My hips. My hips are my thing. My hips are so big, and I got big old hips, and I can stare in the mirror and flip the story. Right? Like I love my curves that the Lord gave me. I am beautiful, and whether I believe it or not, staring at the mirror and speaking them daily, the brain like rewires itself. Does it not? And then it becomes.
Yes, it does. Yes. And when you think about it, this is another exercise that I like to tell women to do. Let's think of 3 things that you don't like about yourself, and then let's just start questioning ourselves about it. For me, also the curves, I have, big hips too, right? But guess what? I have 3 babies. Okay, so thank you. These are baby making hips, honey.
Yes.
That's not necessarily a bad thing. My body had to do what it had to do to make sure my babies were well and while they were growing, and so it's not necessarily a negative thing. But if you start questioning, you're going to question yourself out of that negative belief because you're going to see that it doesn't make any sense. And I'm going to say 99.9% when you walk into a room, nobody is looking at you going, she has really big hips. They're not even thinking about you. Get out of your way. You're not that important.
Nope.
They're not thinking about your hips.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to think that, that's the one thing we nitpick on. There's a trend right now on social. It's like, imagine the brainwashing it took for me to notice this over that. You know what I'm like? And it's just people with they're doing it with smiles or their back fat or whatever. And I'm like, it is so true. Like I should be proud of the muscle I'm building versus that. Come on, that's just part of, but it's true. It's major brainwashing. It's like you said, that 5'11" model wearing a size 2. Like that's not life. That's realistic for everyone.
That's not your average size at all.
You're not supposed to live into that image. And if you're constantly chasing your vision of perfection, you're living And like
You're
the
not
gap
supposed
too.
to be carried in front of you that you will always keep trying to catch, and it's going to always be in front of you. And for someone who was very heavy, my highest weight was 674 pounds.
Can you
I'm gonna
say
give
that
it.
again? I think
I know
listeners might have missed that. What was that weight that
it
you
was
just said?
almost 700 pounds, 674. And even at that size, I still had a glimpse. I call it my glimmer of hope of the person that you see sitting in front of you today. I saw her, but she was so far out of reach that I talked myself out of being able to actually be her. And I have to acknowledge that 674-pound me. Let me tell you, that girl, okay, is a beast. She is smart. She is beautiful. All the decisions that she made got me here today. You're not talking to the person who made the change. The 674-pound me made that change. And she deserves her props. Like, I want to tell her, girl, do you see us now?
Percent. I love it.
We have to, you think about it, if you start questioning yourself today, right, the person that you think is not worthy of anything, if you coax that person to start making the decisions for the 3 year you down the line, you're going to respect her more, and you're going to be disciplined to do what she's telling you, that she knows this is what we need to do to get to this place. And listen to her. Stop ignoring her, because she's telling you from your emotions. She's telling you all day, this is not serving us. It's you got to do something different.
And she gets to choose whether 5 years from now she gets to look back and be proud of the person, or 5 years from now still stuck.
Was still in that same place because you just don't even take the time, and you don't have to do anything. You actually don't have to go out and buy anything yet. Eventually, absolutely, you're going to need to invest. You're going to need to do some other things. But to start off, all you need to do is just stop and question when that limiting belief comes in. Start right with you. And eventually you're going to want more. You're going to figure out more. You're going to, like I said earlier, you're going to catch it earlier so that you stop it and address it. Just like if you had a baby and you correct them, you don't see them touching a hot stove and decide, well, I'll tell them next week not to touch the hot stove. You're going to tell them right then and there. And the second time they do it, you may even catch them when they start walking before they even get to the stove. So you catch it earlier, and they will learn from that to not even go over there by the stove. It's the same thing.
No, it is. And it's so great and it's so powerful, because one of the things that keep us stuck is we don't draw attention to it, right? And so in our mind, we're having these things that we're not even realizing that are happening, and it just becomes the everyday and the belief we have. But once we take back our power and we start addressing it and flipping the script, it can no longer own us. We get to say how it's going to control us and how we're going to grow from it. But that you're right. That first step is truly like being able to identify it and change it before you can move forward with anything else.
And that's where the hypnosis come in. And I love say when I tell people I'm a hypnotherapist, they're like, "What?" I get the little like, that's strange. But guess what? You're hypnotized every single day. Okay, so you tell me, anybody that's listening now, do you actually wake up and have to say to yourself, "Okay, I'm going to get up on this side of the bed, then I'm going to walk to the bathroom. Oh yeah, then I'm going to use my right hand to pick up the toothbrush and my left hand to pick up the toothpaste." No, you do it automatically. Hypnosis is just being in a trance-like state that you're more open and more suggestive to information coming in. So you don't need to tell yourself, this is how I start my morning, or you get in your car, this is how I drive to work. You just drive to work. And you even have a backup plan. If there's an accident, you even know a backup plan to get to work if that same path that you drive every day is no longer there. So the best thing, and I love this about the subconscious mind, it's nonlinear, which means that it has no sense of time. So when I was telling myself that I don't eat meat, my subconscious mind didn't know that. Of course, at first it was like, "What, girl, what you talking about?" Yes, we do. When I kept telling her, "No, girl, we don't eat meat," sooner or later she was like, yeah, she came right on board, because she is your best friend. She is your ride or die. She works 24/7 to pull out and go towards any directive that you're telling her. The problem is you're telling her that you're not worthy. You're telling her that you're not smart enough. So she's going to make sure that you never feel worthy, that you never feel smart enough. So if you give her new directions, she's going to question you at first. But if you keep saying it over and over again, we talked about affirmations. When I decided to make that change after a failed weight loss surgery, mind you, could you imagine going through surgery and that joint didn't work? Okay, I started with an affirmation and I have it tattooed on my wrist. I am disciplined and focused. And I just started saying it all day, every day. I started telling myself that. Then I started writing it. Then I would write it and I would draw little pictures around it until I became it. I started waking up and being at 4, being at the gym at 5 a.m., working out with my trainer. And then I had to say, oh, we're that type of person now. Okay. Oh, yeah, we go to the gym at 5 a.m. And you don't even realize it, how much of a change that you have just made because you decided to give it new directives that actually serve you and make you happy. And that just starts with a decision. 0. Doesn't cost you anything, but to decide.
That's amazing. So much power in that. So you mentioned hypnosis and the subconscious mind. I'd love to know, what are some of the biggest myths around hypnosis?
Girl, the first thing is you're not going to have me barking like a dog. I get that one all the time. And those performative hypnotists it's fun to watch them. They actually are hypnotizing people. But if you ever notice, they always ask for volunteers from out of the audience. They're never going to choose anyone because the person that volunteers, they want to be on stage and bark like a dog when you snap your finger. So they are open to that. Your subconscious mind is the most powerful thing that you have. It's not going to do anything that does not align with your beliefs and your values. So I could not have a client and make suggestions to them to give me their PIN number to their bank card because their subconscious mind is going to be like, wait a minute. Because they grew up knowing you don't just give your money away. Mm-hmm. So you, like I said, you need to change your identity, your beliefs, and your values for the things that you don't want. Because it is, you feeling unworthy, it's a value to you. You may say it's not, but it is, because that's why you still feel unworthy. So your mind is not going to do anything that does not align with who you are. So imagine if you started changing who you are, then everything else, all of the actions, all of the tasks that you need to complete to make you into that woman that you thought you could never be, it's going to start happening for you with that decision. One decision, y'all, just make it.
Yeah. One decision. That's all it takes.
All it takes. And it's so easy. People don't want to believe it. It's, it's almost like that's too good to be true. Mm-hmm. And I watched that documentary, The Secret. That's what started me on the affirmations. Well, first let me say I was mad as I don't know what after watching it, right? And I'm thinking, you got this hype and you got me watching this mess. And now y'all talking about, oh, all I got to do is say this stuff. And I'm thinking something wrong with every single one of these people in this thing. But I say, you know what I am doing, it's not working. So let me try something else. And they are absolutely right about you deciding to make a change and just walk into the room like the person you want to become. The other people don't know what you're thinking.
No.
Walk into the room like a millionaire. Practice. How does a millionaire walk into the room? Look in the mirror and start walking into rooms like that. The people don't know how much money is in your account.
Nope, not at all.
They don't know.
Nope, they don't know at all. And it levels you up, right? Like that's what you want to be. That's what you're going to manifest by speaking into existence, right? Like
you have to psych yourself up. You have to, like you're at a game. And when the cheerleaders come on, we all get hyped up. Am I not right? Like they're cheering, they're clapping. And you get this excited feeling. Could you imagine if you had a pep talk with yourself every morning in the mirror like that to tell yourself, girl, you are the best thing since sliced bread?
So walk me through, what is your hype up sequence or process?
Well, and you know what, I was getting ready to say, I don't want your audience to think I'm crazy, but guess what I am? I am crazy in love with me.
I love that. always thought I was crazy. And I'm like, wait, but I am crazy and I own it because it's who I am.
It's who I am. The first thing I do when I wake up, I'm always grateful. And I just say, oh my gosh, thank you, God. I can't believe you gave me another day to like be down here and be amazing and impact other women to help them to wake up just like this. I always start with a gratitude statement and I don't get up right away. I like to sit on the side of my bed. I like to sit with myself. I like that quietness, that peacefulness in the morning because we do everything for everyone else. We don't even take the time to sit with ourselves to check in with ourselves. So that time in the morning is a time for me to check in with myself. And then of course I do my normal thing. I go into the bathroom. Before I brush my teeth, I'm looking in the mirror. I have a low thyroid. So as I'm taking my Synthroid in the morning, right? First of all, I'm sending powerful, light, healing, whatever you want to call it, into my water before I put it into my body. I drink that. And then when I'm looking in that mirror, I smile and I just say, I'm so grateful that I'm you. Like, I'm so grateful that I get to be you today. What are we going to do today to make our lives like 1,000 times better today? And I have that conversation with myself and I'm smiling and I'm looking at my mannerisms and I'm looking at my hair and everyone else could think that my hair is ugly. Oh, I love my hair. And when I turn to the side, honey, it's because it's me. It's what I love about me. And no one else, now you guys are going to think I'm conceited, right? I don't tell anybody this. I just feel amazing. I love my haircut. I love my hairstyle. And I don't have to voice this to everybody. It's my little secret with me. I wear waist beads. Nobody else, well, my husband knows that, but nobody else knows that. I feel sexy as I don't know what in my waist beads. That is my little secret with me because I deserve that specialness with myself.
Yes, you do. And it goes back to speaking into existence, right? And owning the narrative. Because if you are confident in you and you own it, and you said, it's not me being conceited or whatever else, but it's like you want to have that power rather than letting society say, your hair looks whack, I don't like it. They can have their opinion. That's not what matters. What matters is how you feel about it. So having that kind of conceitedness, if you per se, about the way you feel and the way you look and loving it, it goes back to like, you're not made for everyone. That's okay. You're not going to fit everyone's standard. You've got to fit your own standard. Who do you want to be? How do you want
And
to
it's
show?
only one of you. It's only one you. You can have 1,000 other women named Daryl. They're still not me. They're still not me. And if I depended on society for my worth, I've lost over 400 pounds. Do you know that would actually mean nothing if I depended on society? Because I'm still plus size. I'm still 200 and something pounds. So it's like, well, for goodness sake, I done lost over 400 pounds and I still don't fit in. If I listen to society, no, I'm not a size 2. I'm a size happy now. I'm a size well now. I'm a size sexy. Ooh, that's what you need to think. So that way you be your own cheerleader, and trust me, they're gonna notice it because they're gonna be like they're gonna have their own conceptions, right? Their own little beliefs that they have, and I get it, and you can feel it. I'll walk into the room, and I know so many people want to ask, "Oh, well, how does it feel to be a plus size speaker?" You mean how does it feel to be a speaker?
Yeah.
Not a plus size speaker, but just a speaker who motivates people. That's all you see about me is my size. And I'm not going to share that I've lost over 400 pounds with everybody because it's none of their business. I'm not going to walk around and share that because that's like me proving to people that I'm worthy. I'm worthy just because I'm here. I don't need anything else attached to that.
Yeah, 100%. And we're all made to be unique. We're all made to be different. I mean, shoot, imagine the world we'd live in if we had a bunch of copy paste. I don't want to live in that world.
It would be boring and people would start fighting over skills or characteristics to say, hey, that belongs to me. Oh, no, that's mine. It's enough out here for everyone to feel amazing when you get up.
Yes. It's like me. I love glitz and glam when I'm out and about or at an event or whatever else. I probably have bright pink on or glitter or super cute outfit. And I may 100% be overdressed. And that's okay, because that's part of who I am, part of who Kaitlyn is. I love to be like the glitter background. Everyone's like, that's obviously awfully sparkly. Is there an event? No, this is every day in my life. I get to
And
choose.
and you deserve that. You deserve to do everything that makes you feel good when you walk into a room. And we don't acknowledge that. We think that we have to do things or we have to, I'm gonna say, win things before we get to a different level, when all it takes is for you to decide who you want to become and you actually be that person. That is your win. You are the prize. You are the prize.
Yes. And I mean, it's chasing that vision of perfection of what you want and whatnot. Like, you're never going to hit what you want because that meter just keeps getting further and further away. And then you just get stuck in this life of just not being content, right? But if you can look back at how much growth you've had and be able to see that celebration and the gains and the success you've had, then you can keep leveling up, but then you get to enjoy it. You get to enjoy the process, enjoy the life you want to have versus this never ending goal that just keeps moving and you're never happy because you're focused on this target that never stays still.
Yeah. And most women will say, they'll say that they're confident, right? And when you start questioning them about, well, what does being confident mean? A lot of us think that it means that, oh, you think you're beautiful. Most people think that they're beautiful, right? Or you think, oh, well, I can do this or I can do that. For me, being confident means being fearless. It means that I'm confident enough to fail in front of the whole world and learn from it because I'm true to myself. To me, that is true confidence, that you don't fear, showing up and people looking at you because they think that your dress is ugly. You could care less. You're still going to walk into the room with your beautiful dress on because you have decided that is beautiful. That is being confident. You don't care what anybody else thinks.
I went
Now,
to it.
I was going to say, mind you, it still creeps in. It still creeps in for me. But honey, when I tell you I harpoon that foolishness so fast,
You're like, nope. Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. So I was at an event a few months back. I had pre-packed my outfits for the entire trip. I knew what I was going to wear, what day I was going to wear it. And of course, I brought a backup. And I put on a dress one day and I was not feeling it. I was like, I don't feel confident in this. I don't feel like this is the fit. Like something just feels off. I don't feel right. And I started to pull out the up outfit to change. And then because I am so good at controlling the narrative now, I stopped myself and I was like, well, wait. This outfit normally makes me feel incredible, which means I need to check myself because it's my mindset, not the outfit. My body doesn't look different than it looked last week when I tried it on or last time I wore it. It's in my mind that I'm not feeling it today. So instead of changing the outfit, I kept the fit on and I reset my mind. I was like, no, I look amazing in this. This is awesome. We're going to rock it today. We're going to show up. And we did. And the outfit was a hit. Not that it even had to be, right? But I walked in being able to own it. And because the type of event it was, I actually had a conversation with one of the gals that was there about this whole inside conversation I had, internal conversation I had. And they're like, when you walked in the room, I saw you. I saw how incredible your outfit was. And never in a million years would I have thought you doubted the way you showed up today. And I was like, yes, because I was able to acknowledge it. Like I knew this outfit makes me feel great normally. So what's wrong today? Let's check it and flip that script.
yes.
Right. It's not always like there's always something that's going to come up or tweak you or throw you off. But when you have that acknowledgement of it, it's
Yeah.
powerful.
You can stop it and you can go left. You were going right and you can stop it and you can go left. And that's the fearlessness. And I always talk about children because children are the perfect example of being fearless. They learn to be fearful. And this is why you have to be careful with giving a little boy a Superman cape because he's going to jump down a flight of steps. Okay? Because he's fair. You cannot tell him that when he puts that cape on, that he is not Superman. We dim that light in children. And it's so unfair to dim that light. And we don't do it purposely. It's just that it's our mindset that we have to remove ourselves from to say, you know what, you could do anything that you want, but I would prefer for you to jump from the second step
Yes.
as opposed to the 10th step at the top.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
It's like you mentioned earlier, like all of it's inherited from your parents and other outside sources, right? But it's true.
Yeah.
Like a child is born with no fear. They have nothing in the world to be scared of, no anxiety, no nothing. And it's all learned from some external, whether a parent,
Yeah.
father, a parent, a adult
Yep.
figure, a teacher. And we have
Yeah.
to be really careful about that. I'll never forget, this was a few years back, but my son was at a track meet and I was sitting around a group of girls and they were in 7th grade at the time. And I always have my nails done. My nails are always done. They're fun. They're cute. They're bright. They're vibrant.
Oh,
And one of the gals is like, "Oh my goodness, I love your nails. They're awesome." And then it goes down to this spiral of, "I love your nails." She's like, "I wish I could go get my nails done." And I'm like, "Well, why can't you?" Granted, in 7th grade, maybe it's money. I don't know. Why? Well, why don't you go get your nails done? I have bad anxiety. Like if I walk in there and like they never speak English and like, what if they're talking about me? And all I could think of, you're in 7th grade. Where did that fear come from?
yeah.
Because it didn't come from you going to the nail salon all the time. It didn't come from just knowing. You inherited that fear from somewhere, that anxiousness.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad in that moment because there's so much of that because you already have to face society and other teenagers and other females. And then let's just be real. Teen females are not very nice to teen females. Okay. Adult females are not always the nicest to other females.
Middle school girls are not nice. I would rather have a classroom full of boys, middle school boys, over middle school girls. You have to be a strong and really good teacher to foster that energy. And it's not a negative thing. It's just a big responsibility because our girls are so powerful that we just don't tap into them. But her being a 7th grader and feeling like that, absolutely, that came from somewhere. And at that age, you're not going to know that you need to question it, right? So now it's important as you get to be an adult, you really need to start taking notice of some of your beliefs and actually write them down and see, I wonder where did this come from? I wonder where this expectation came from. And do I want to continue with that expectation? And, I talk about weight a lot, but this can apply to anything. This can apply to a woman that wants to be married, right? And she's looking for this partner. And she has like 100 things on a list what she wants her partner to be. And it's like, ma'am, you're never going to find that person. Let's go through the list of your expectations to see where did this expectation come from. Question yourself all day. I question myself every single day.
Yeah.
Did I do what was right today?
Or do they belong to someone else? Because if they do,
Yeah, give it back. Take your power back and give them their power. And like I say, love them from afar. Check your circle too. Who's around you? Because we are influenced. I don't care if you're 25 or 55. We get influenced by the people that are around us. And you really need to take note of who's in your inner circle. Because you may need to move them to a circle that's in the back. You can still love them, but we all have more than one circle around us. Put them in circle 8 or circle 9. Don't have them in circle 1 because they're going to hold you back.
yes, I love that. That doesn't mean you can't have that relationship, right? It's just a matter of who is that inner circle and the outer circle layers, and where does that relationship lie?
Yeah, it's important. And like I said, just question it. We get so afraid of what people think. And I'm sorry, I'm 55 now. I just can't worry about 'em. My intention is never to hurt anyone's feelings, but I'm always going to make sure that whoever is around me or whatever is around me, is it serving me? If it's not, then I'm not going to put too much energy into it, if any at all.
Yeah. And in a society where women are very guilty of saying yes to all the things, that is a great question. Because if it's not serving you and you're burnt out and you're depleted, then you definitely need to ask yourself that.
Yeah. Like how is this helping me? That every time I talk to you, I feel bad when I leave. And we end up thinking that it's normal. Well, that's just, and some people are like, who? It may even be your mother. If every time you talk to your mother and you feel bad when you leave, that's not a good thing. And she probably doesn't even know that she's making you feel bad. So that's why you need to question it and possibly have a conversation or make sure that whatever that normal conversation you have with your mom that makes you feel bad when you leave, you no longer have that conversation anymore. And she'll fall in line with you. You don't even have to say anything. People will follow your lead all the time.
Yep, they will for sure. I've even seen it. with my child. He'll be talking to a friend and his friend will be all negative about, like, but all those people, they looked at me funny and I don't know if I really liked it because of this and that. And my son will be like, well, you don't even know and you're judging them. Like, that's not very nice. Like, maybe like, how do we turn this into a positive? And I'm like, yes, because it is so
Yeah.
true. You got to
So
flip.
gotta foot. Look, carry a spatula around and just take it out and do this
Flip
and
it.
pretend, oh, I'm flipping this.
Don't be scared to be that person either. Okay, well, we're not going to be talking about other people unless we can talk, like we can make this a structure, a conversation that's beneficial rather than turning someone down, right? Like, how do we turn this conversation into a positive where we're going to build rather than tear down?
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can be that, you can make that kind suggestion. And it doesn't mean your group's going to go with it, right? Like, you might have that person that's like, nah, I don't know how, not happening. Well, then they're not your people. At the same time, you have the opportunity to be that influence of like, hey, well, what about this instead?
And they will fall in line. So the next time that you are together, they probably won't even start talking about anybody else because you just change that energy between you two. And if the person decides not to stay and you thank them for the experience in your head, you don't even have to say anything. Thank you. I learned that this behavior no longer serves me. And now I'm better that I made the change. And that's it. It's really simple. We make it hard. We make it so much harder than what it is.
Because we replay like the worst case scenarios, the what ifs and all of this versus I think it's like 85% of the time, the worst case scenario that we have in our head never comes true. Right. And so it's like, no, stop trying to control the narrative and control what you can control in the right here and the right now and do what you do.
And do what you do and put yourself first. I always urge women to just really think about, is this something that is making me a better me? Is this something that's going to get me closer to the woman that I envision myself as being? And you may have to put that friend that you've been knowing since kindergarten, that when you guys get together, all you do is talk about other people. You may need to change that person, not get rid of that person, but just no longer, operate in that capacity with that person.
Yeah.
So look, flip it. We're going to start carrying our, flip it, girl. Our spatulas around. Flip it. Flip the switch, something.
So Daryll, for the woman who feels like she's been stuck in the same cycle for years, what would you say to her right now?
I would say, you know what? You can decide right now that I'm no longer stuck. You could just change that whole sentence around and just say, I'm not stuck. I'm learning and I'm getting better at it. That's an affirmation right now. I'm not stuck. I'm learning and I'm getting better at being the person that I want to be. And I wish that I could have some type of, I don't even know what word to use to say to people that it is just that simple, is to make the decision to no longer be stuck. Then your subconscious mind will start helping you to look for things to get you unstuck. Just like you see a car one day and you're like, oh, I love that car. You've never seen a car before. Then all of a sudden, every time you go out, you see this car.
Yeah,
it wasn't that the car has never been there. You never noticed it before until now. Because now you have the energy focusing on this car and now you notice it when it is around you. But it's always been there. The person that you want to be, she has always been there. You're just not seeing her because you choose to see something else. Flip it. Get your spatula and flip it.
Love it. All right, Daryll. Can we jump into some rapid fire? Can I ask you some rapid fire? Here's first thing that's popped in your head. You ready?
I'm ready.
One belief women need to drop immediately.
Somebody else's concerns about them. Drop it.
Yeah. One belief women need to adopt.
I'm beautiful right here, right now, at this very moment.
Confidence is what?
Fearlessness.
Discipline is
the same thing over and over again that serves you. You're already disciplined, but you're not doing the things that serve you. So be disciplined with the things that serve you.
Your favorite book right now?
Oh, now see, you're going to stop me with that. It's so many of them. Oh my gosh. I can't believe you're doing this to me. I have so many. I'm going to say The Secret because that's a book too. I'm going to say The Secret. I think that's a book. Is that a book? I don't know. The Secret.
It's either a book or a movie, and you ladies need to go listen to it. And your go-to coffee order.
My go-to. I don't drink coffee. I'm going to say vanilla chai tea is what I like.
Ooh, I like it. All right. And so, final one. How is Dr. Daryll Wharton living life unapologetic?
Oh my goodness. I am just stepping into me. I am living my purpose. I am so much better than what I was yesterday, and I'm prepared for tomorrow. That's how I'm living life.
I love it. So, Daryll, how can our listeners go follow you and learn more about you? Where can they track you down?
Absolutely. You can go to drdaryl.com. That's 1 R, 2 L's. And I do have a special gift for your listeners, and I will make sure you get that. I have a limiting belief quiz. Go and take the quiz. It's only 7 questions. Find out where you are in your limiting beliefs. Then you will get a meditation according to wherever you fall, and listen to it every day. It's only like 5 minutes, and start that change now. That's all you need to do. You don't need to write anything. All you need to do is listen every single day to it.
I love it. Thank you so much for that. Ladies, we'll be linking it down in the show notes, so that way you can go do the quiz and get your meditation track. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here with us today. It has been amazing.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you too. This has been so powerful. And ladies, here's what I want you to take with you if you're listening right now. You're not stuck because you're lazy, and you're not stuck because you're incapable and not able. You're stuck because somewhere along the way, you learn to believe something that isn't true. And as you heard today, the good news, beliefs can be rewritten. The next level version of you, she's not out of reach. She's just waiting on you to decide, to think differently, to show up differently, to become her, one aligned step at a time. Again, Dr. Daryll, thank you so much for being here with us and sharing with us. Ladies, if this episode hits you and just hits home, share it. Share it with another woman who needs this reminder. Until next time, ladies, we'll see you on Unapologetic. Bye.
I'm showing up as the woman I was created to be.
I don't have to be perfect. I just have to be real.
One woman's courage gives another permission. I'm done waiting for someday. My time is now. I'm walking in faith, not fear.
God's plan for me is bigger than my fear.
No more hiding who I am. This is the real me, and I'm not apologizing for her.
Thank you for tuning in to the Unapologetic Podcast. If today's episode fired you up, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new one. And hey, leave a quick review, or sharing this with a friend helps us reach more women who need this message. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and keep living unapologetically.